So let's have a drink of water.
Why can't I pay?
And let's start with our feet. I have a few new things that we can do with our feet today.
Okay.
But I do always like to start with that lengthening on the bottom of our feet. I found that my arches have really improved.
Dana, can I ask, when we're doing this foot thing, when we're doing the separation on the spine of our foot here, are we also, if we're doing the bend and flex, that foot flex type of thing, are we also helping the tendon guard reflex is in that area?
Okay, this is not for the tendon guard reflex. This is to stimulate to get the feet muscles working and working the arch. When we do the work along the calf muscles, that's for the tendon guard reflex.
And that's the only, like that is the way, that is the brain gym.
Okay, so we'll do that today.
Okay. All right, thanks.
So the new thing that I learned was on our toes today to take 2 toes at a time and roll them circles like you're trying to create more space between each of the toes. So rolling them in one direction. I say rolling, but you can see what I'm doing here, yes? And then go to the next toes. Yeah, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yes. I wish it were a little easier to zoom this camera in and out, but if you ever need me to do that, just ask me to do it. But otherwise, I don't do it because it just takes time. So then let's do our gaits. I never like to skip doing the gaits, and then we'll do the work for the tendon guard reflex. So the key to the work here is it still kind of is a principle of lengthening muscles. So we can do this 2 ways. One, let's do the classic one where you hold the Achilles tendon, you like squeeze the Achilles tendon a bit, and you squeeze the tendons at the top of the calf, at the back of the knee, and then you press the heel away from you to lengthen, and you're sort of training those muscles to lengthen. And then the other one is to find the, tender points and press in, and then just do the lengthening of the heel away from the body. I'm using those words rather than the old flex and point your feet because I want to emphasize that heel is moving around, pulling on the tendon. Now, I've noticed lately that I also often get tight along the front of my leg, the shins. And so Gail did this, and I had never seen anybody in brain gym do this, but my chiropractor has done this. So to lengthen the front, the muscles on the front of here, you want to do the opposite. So you want to point the foot, in other words, pull the toes away from you, and then as you're pressing in, that's going to lengthen the muscles along the shin, that can cause shin splints. So I've actually found lately that those muscles get really tight too. And sometimes, just like in the front, I find a place where it's particularly tender to work on.
So are you doing both sides along the shin bone?
Well, I concentrate on the outside because that's where I feel the sore spots.
Okay.
And I don't know the muscles well enough to know. I think that the muscles along the inside are more concerned with pulling the foot back.
Hey, good, thank you.
And then when you're ready, moving on to the other foot. And for me, the work on the feet isn't just about your feet, but this is the more we use our feet, I really believe it's helping to protect our knees. Just yesterday, we had a guest visit our house and he was having a knee problem. I said, well, feet, your feet are important. He said, oh, yes, that's true. And then I watched him walk and I could see that the feet weren't really engaged. So we're doing, Amanda, you just come on. New little thing, different thing to do with our toes today. When you get to this point is taking 2 toes at a time and rotating them around away from each other. We're stretching, but rather than just stretching, by doing circles in one way and then the other way. And you just go, then taking the index toe and the middle toe and creating space there and continuing on down with each set. And then doing our gates. And then we're doing our calf stretch. So the 2 ways of doing that are squeezing the Achilles and the tendons at the top, the back of the knee, and then pressing the heel away from you to lengthen, releasing the tendon guard reflex, and then also pressing into the sore spots and pressing the heel away. And then we can also do the front of the shin. And this time we're going to press the toes away as we hold those muscles on the front of the thin shin. Lengthening those muscles as well. Okay, and then sitting on the edge of the chair, we will do the rotations of our feet on the floor, rolling around the edges of the feet. And then the other way. And then starting, we're going to do the caterpillar walk with our feet, scrunching up the foot, spreading the toes out, scrunching up the foot, spreading the toes out. That's a technical term, scrunching your feet. And then we're going to reverse the process, curling the toes up, rolling the feet flat and spreading them out. So again, scrunching from the toes and then spreading the feet out on the floor. Let's do that one more time in each direction. Getting our caterpillar feet moving. Okay, and then moving up to our hips. Today, let's do figure eights. I can't remember what we did last week. So we're going to come, first of all, rolling around the two sits bones. We're going to rotate the pelvis forward and then around one sit bone to the back, and then come forward and roll around the other sits bone to the other side. And then taking the initiation from the seed center that we've talked about, just below the navel, in the middle of our body, really maybe thinking of the belly, the contents of our belly rolling around on top of one sits bone, and then the contents of our belly, all our intestines rolling around the other side. That idea that we've explored of moving from the insides of us moving around in the shell of our body responding, rather than necessarily moving the bones. So we get a different kind of fluidity, kind of an internal massage. Let's go up to our solar plexus, creating some space between our pelvis and our rib cage. And you don't have to go as fast as I'm going. And then from our heart, bringing our heart forward and around one side, bringing our heart forward and around the other side. And then maybe from our head, our skull, initiating the move around, and our body follows, our spine follows our head, moving around. And let's move back down. Let's do our shoulders this time. Our shoulders moving forward and around to one side, maybe leading more with one shoulder, moving our shoulders forward and moving around the other side. And then just one of each, our heart. Bless you. Our solar plexus, or diaphragm, our seed center, our belly, and then back to just rolling around the sits bones. Okay, now that that's all lubricated, let's stand up. Get out of the chair. I'll reattach my head to my body there. And let's start with our owl to release our shoulder tension. Ooh. Ooh. Semicircles. Ooh. And shake that out, and we'll move on to the other shoulder. Ooh. Semicircles. Shake that all out. And now with those nice relaxed shoulders, let's find our brain buttons. And start with just tracking the eyes across the horizon, seeing the horizon wherever we are. Maybe it's the horizon of our room, or maybe I can see little bits of another horizon through the windows. And then allowing the head to move so we can increase our scan of the horizon. And maybe the head will take us and will allow the spine to become involved. Trying to think of the word there. Include the spine in the rotation that started with our eyeballs. And let's switch hands. Of course, breathing and feeling as you spiral the contact of your feet with the floor and the weight on the tripods of your feet. And really cluing into that energy that comes up through the center of your feet, through the domes on the bottom of your feet. Let's visualize that traveling up the inside and outsides of our legs, all the way up to our pelvis, and mixing in our pelvis. And let's just feel that energy kind of undulating through our pelvic region, massaging all those organs and playing with that same figure 8 that we did on the chair of our sits bones. Now we're rolling around the top of one hip joint and the other hip joint. Feeling that movement, that undulation. And our feet are probably rolling around those points, those tripods, rolling as we undulate our hips, rolling from one spot on our feet to the other. And you don't have to be like super accurate. What point are you on? I'm just saying generally that those feet are actually moving on the floor. The weight is moving in our feet. And then let's take that energy up the sacrum as it is transferred to through the sacrum to the spine, coming up the spine all the way. So our upper limbs are just hanging from the spine. Literally, the connection of our arms to our spine is from the top rib circle, comes around to the front of our collarbone, comes around to the shoulder where it attaches to the shoulder blade, and that's where our arms are attached. Okay, so I actually looked that up again on Philip the other day. It really is the bony attachment of our arms to our torso comes from the very top rib circle, which is, if you find if you want to find it on yourself, if you find the kind of little lump that projects at the top, the lowest cervical vertebra, your neck, and then the first vertebra with the rib circle that goes underneath all those muscles and comes around here to your collarbone, and you feel that sternoclavicular joint that we've worked with, and then out along the collarbones, and you can feel the front projection of the shoulder blades, the bone that comes around from the shoulder blades, and I can't think of what this bone is called. The upper arm bone is attached in there. Okay, so that's all just, allows this incredible mobility in our shoulders. So let's work with that now. Scrunching our shoulders up. So those collarbones are coming up, the rib circle is moving a bit. And exhale, drop them down. Inhale, balloons inflating under our armpits, and our fingers reach out wide to the side, and release. And again, up, inhale, up, and drop down. Inflate those balloons under your armpits. Fingers reach wide into space, and drop down. Inhale, shoulders up. Exhale down, reaching out. That means the shoulder blades are sliding open a bit on your back, your wings, and drop them down. Last time like this, shoulders up, drop down, reach out. Those shoulder blades stay low. Now we're going to continue up, up, up. Shoulder blades stay down on the back, and our arms reach as far as they can with the shoulders. There's space in the shoulders there. Okay, and bring the arms down. And we could be ready to start our Qigong, but I want to do our walk before we do it. Our opening, and shift the weight onto the other foot and close, parallel, open the hip joints out, transfer the weight, close the hip joints in, transfer the weight, opening, out, closing, in, opening, out, transfer, close, In, go to the other side. Open, out, close, in, open, out, transfer, close, in, open, out, close, in, open, out. Now let's pick up the pace. And open, and close. Still transferring the weight. Feeling the weight shift. Feeling the foot receiving the weight into the floor. Open, out, close, in, open, out, close, other side, and open, step, change the weight, step, open, step, change the weight, step, open, step, change the weight, step, open. Now let's speed it up again, and open and close, 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 and open and faster, and open, close, open, close, open, close. So you get a sense of turning, and open, close, open, close, open, close, open, and close again. Open, close, 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 open, close. Okay, shake that all out. So if you're wondering why we did such an extended thing of that, is that it's getting the sense that we rotate our legs from our hip joints. Yes? So that whatever you're moving, and as you move in your life and you turn quickly or something, that you do that movement from the hip joint. You don't do it by opening your foot and twisting your knee. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, let's just start before our Qigong with opening the legs a little bit and working on that, pressing from one foot to the other, that transfer of the weight, pinky toes pressing from one side to the other, and then you can take it into that lengthening one side, feeling that movement along the inside of the legs. And if we like, we can even take it off the floor. Okay, and come back to a narrow parallel position to start our Qigong. So with that dropping of the shoulders and the shoulder blades, as we do the arm circles, rotating, reaching from the little fingers, up, around, gathering in, lowering, opening, fingertips stretching up through space, carving. And then we do the creasings. So as your body descends, really feel those heels reaching back and into the floor as your knees and hands are reaching forward. Long spine, maybe feeling the energy all the way down from the back of the skull to the sacrum. And maybe you can slightly deepen this this movement, not by leaning forward in your body, but by your knees going forward and your heels reaching back, supported by your toes as well. And now, if you like, we can shift the weight and the same movement on one leg. We'll do 6 of these. I think that was 4, 5, 6. Back to 2 feet, 2 more in the center. And then shifting to the other leg. Back to center. 2 more back in the center. And our arms come up to our turtle dovetail and open out into space. Feeling that vertical through line, even as the arms are reaching sideways, we still have the vertical through line from the bottom of the soles of our feet out through the top of our heads. And now we'll step to the side. And we're going to press from one foot to the other. And then we'll take our arms up over the top into our rainbow, scooping up and over, allowing the other arm to hang long from the shoulder, and then it scoops up and over. And once you've established that lengthening and gathering in your eyes, follow the fingertips up and then shift over to the other side. So our eyes are tracing the rainbow. Gather the feet back together and trace our energy fountain up the center of our body and out through the top of our heads. Standing tall from the soles of our feet. And moving on, pressing one hand out from our heart while the other one circles back, another rainbow around, and it comes in and stretches out from our heart, up and around. Feeling the spiraling all the way from our feet up to our legs as we create our Egyptian silhouette. swimming in air. And the hands come together and we open our heart, reaching the fingertips up, and then they droop down and curve over our heart space and then open back up to the sky or the ceiling and continue to flow down and float up, flow down. Maybe like a waterfall. Slow motion. One more. And this time, as we come up, we're going to reach out to one side and then the other. Carving the space to one side with the fingertips, carving the space to the other side. And opening up one side of the body as the other one curls in. Feeling the length from the sole of your foot all the way up the side of your leg and body. How much space can you create between each rib on one side of the body and then between your ribs on the other side? We're going to step out and reach up as we spiral around to the back. Transferring the weight from one foot to the other through the action of our feet pressing into the ground. And once you have that grounding transfer through your feet, see if you can float these lazy eights on top and allow your whole body, your whole spine and hips to respond. Flowing in an eight from one side to the other. Releasing any tension you find. Activating that undulation through the pelvis that we did when we first stood up after we did our brain buttons. And then our feet are going to come back together. And we're going to do the pushing to one side, flowing around and pushing to the other side. Can you feel the reach or the press of the palm initiating all the way from your feet up through your sacrum and your spine, all the way up to your arms. This is the last one, and we're going to move into the vertical spiral around our central axis. More massaging for our kidneys and our lungs around our central axis. And now we're going to step out into the lunge, transferring the weight, pressing the back heel into the ground as we move forward, pressing the toes into the ground to push us back. The back heel presses into the ground to move us forward. The front toes push us back. Weight going onto the back leg. And our body creates a great arc, creating more space again between our pelvis, our rib cage, the spine curving along all the way to the top of the head. Energy reaching out through the top of the head. Now, if we had a lantern on the or a flashlight on the top of our head, it would be creating a rainbow going in the sagittal plane. In other words, from forward to back. Rainbow. A searchlight through space. And let's shift the weight, change to the other leg. Again, awareness of the back heel pressing into the ground to shift the weight forward. The front toes pressing you back onto the back foot. And then creating that big over curve forward and over curve to the back. One more, over, back, change legs, pushing waves. Maybe feeling a stretch through the front of the hip, the psoas muscle. If you really keep your pelvis upright and don't tilt forward as you come forward, you'll feel the lengthening through here. And then we're going to change weight. Change weight. Fingertips coming back to the turtle dove tail, the base of the sternum. Spreading and gathering. Spreading and gathering. Let's change legs. And coming in to the punches. Remember the rotation. So that as you punch, your palm is parallel to the floor and you can reach out through the pinky side. And moving into flying geese. And we're going to add our side stretches here in a moment. This time, take one arm up over the top and feel the length through one side of your body as the other side is curling over. And that arm that's down is really just let it go. Just let the weight of the arm hang in space like a plumb line going down. Create some space between your upper arm, your raised arm, and your ear. Okay, and let's roll around, open our heart to the ceiling, come around to the other side, and do a couple more reaches. This time that arm is just reaching out to the side. Allow the head to rest, almost like it was going to lie on your shoulder. And then bring the other arm up and change. We stay in that position with the arm switched. Space by dropping the shoulder blade down so that you have space here. Okay, and now we're going to roll, open up the heart, come around to the other side. Take two more creases here if you're doing the creases. Head hanging as if it was going to rest on your shoulder. Then bring both arms up and we'll continue around to our circles. We'll do 7 in each direction. 5. Unless you want to do them slower or faster. Here's our last one. Pause at the top and change directions. Soles of your feet are providing support on the floor. Pause at the top, open the arms, and we'll take our, they call this actually bouncing the ball. I call it Chinese cross crawls. And now I'm going to change to homolateral. Peeling the feet off the floor. And now we're going to double it and bounce the ball. And now change to cross lateral. Opposite. Now we're going to do our old cross crawls. Curving, exhale. Opening, wide, inhale. Curving, exhale. Inhale. Curving, exhale. Opening, inhale. Curving, exhale. Opening, inhale. Let's try that again. Reaching up and around. Curving. Opening. Inhale. Curling. Exhale. Opening. Inhale. Curling. Exhale. Opening. Inhale. Curling. Exhale. Inhale. And let's take arms coming up as we rise down, flushing out the lower dantian, maybe allowing any residual physical tensions to release. Inhale. Exhale. And now open the arms to the side, scooping up all the way towards the heavens, and then bringing that energy down in. And now we'll repeat our rising up to the level of the heart, maybe of the throat. Flushing the heart. Any intense feelings there. And opening the palms, carving up sky, bringing that energy down. And now the last sequence all the way up to the crown chakra, the third eye in the crown chakra. Flushing out our thoughts. Last one, and open the palms to the sky, curving up, gathering, floating down to our lower dantian. And there we have another Wednesday. You might want to get a drink of water. I didn't have a water break. I need, whenever I see Patricia, it reminds me about water, because when we did Brain Body Fitness at a senior center together, she would always clue me, let's have some water. So we had a request from Marietta today about the tendon guard reflex. I'm wondering if there's anything that you'd like me to work on or review or explore. Going forward this summer.
Anything to strengthen my knee would be good.
And anything for your knee?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think I've been walking so badly it's affected the opposite hip as well, so that's a bit out of placement at the moment.
Okay.
But I did feel today, and it just hurts.
And where does it hurt, Ruth?
Well, on the knee, it's the inside, the front top, inside the kneecap. Well, it's all over the knee, really. It moves around, and it means I can't always stretch my leg out. I can't lock my leg back, like, so it's like that all the time rather than like that. So that's one thing. I can't kneel on it for any length of time. I certainly can't kneel back or put weight on it. Standing on one leg, on that leg, is really hard for any length of time. Can't sleep with it. It's generally driving me crazy.
Do you feel pain behind the knee, or do you feel swelling or stiffness behind the knee, or is it all in the front?
All at the front.
Okay, interesting. Okay. I'll have a
meniscus or something, she said, was worn away.
Oh, okay, well, I can tell you generally, because I've had damage to my meniscus, and I know I've harped on this a lot, but I found that it was working with my feet that really helped to support it. So it's that using the toes, using the heels. So if you're walking, everything, just think, I know, because what happens, a pain in the knee, and you think knee, and it all goes to the knee. But if instead you think toes, the rolling through the foot and the pushing of the toes moves you forward with each step.
Yeah. I've always walked properly like that in through the heel, through to the toe. I've always walked
Mhm.
fully. So I don't know what else I can do really.
And I'm just suggesting that you use extra pressure on the toes,
Yeah, okay.
and that engages a kinetic chain up the leg of muscles working. And my experience, it maybe won't work for you, but my experience is that really doing that, all those, like if these were all that, I can even feel it if I do this with my hands. You can see as I'm pressing with my toes, my bicep moving.
All right, I see. Yeah,
I feel it all the way up here. So if this were my knee, it means that all the muscles of my shin and calf and my thigh muscles are actually engaged, and they're doing the work, as opposed to if that's not working, all the weight of my body is going through my knee, and the knee is taking that without support of the muscles.
Yeah.
And the knee is a fairly delicate joint. I mean, compared to some other joints in the body, actually, I think a lot of our joints are pretty delicate when it comes down to it. And it's all the tendons and the muscles that are supporting it. Otherwise, our bones would fall apart. And I think, I mean, I have no doubt that you have good alignment and the use of your body properly. But I'm thinking at our age, we need to actually use extra conscious effort.
We'll try. Thank you.
And I'm making a note for next week. Anybody else have any comments, thoughts?
Dana, you said you were going to do some floor work.
Yes. Okay. I will do that. I have to admit, part of it is that I haven't really been lying on my back yet. And I was thinking, just on our, but by next, my bubble is so little now, I think that'll be fine. I will do floor work. Okay.
Dana?
Yes.
Oh, I'd like to see lots of hip work. My hip joints are really tight.
Okay, hips. Okay.
Good.
That could be floor work.
Get one knee up on the other.
Yeah, floor work lying on the back can be really helpful for the hips. And also what we've been doing on the chair, but thank you, because that all this explains something that I've seen in your movement that I was wondering about, and I think I need to approach in a different way. Okay, that is great. So have a great week, everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, and I will
See you next week then.
Bye, Audrey.
Bye. Bye all.